Another year of being on the taxi rank, another year of rising costs, a lot of rule changes, and also some difficult decisions that the taxi drivers of London have had to make in the year 2025. I'm going to be telling you the highs and the lows in my year in review of the London taxi trade 2025. Now, there's also been changes to fuel costs, electric costs, and also being a licensed taxi driver and becoming a licensed taxi driver. There has been also talk of the trade not lasting for another 25 years due to the low numbers in the trade. I'm going to be talking to you about the highs and the lows, and also the hard truths of what's involving the taxi industry at this very point. Operating costs have remained the biggest hurdle for London taxi drivers this year. For example, in April this year, we have a tariff review, and Transport for London kind of determine whether the right amount we're charging customers is a fair amount. And so there was a fair increase within the London taxi trade, and that was to help catch up with inflation and also the ongoing running cost to run a London taxi. As I say, and I'll probably say a few times in this video, that the London taxi isn't the most cheapest vehicle in the world. So they increased the fare, the minimum fare, from £4 to £4.20. And they also increased the tariffs, 1, 2 and 3 up until 5%. And this is all set by Transport for London. And I must stress, not by the taxi driver. There was also a plug-in grant that was extended, which originally I believe it was around £7,000 or just over £7,000, but that has now been reduced to £6,000, which helped put towards a brand new electric taxi, which can cost around £75,000 with interest around £90,000. So that actually helps to buy a new vehicle. Also, airports in London have all risen in terms of their drop-off fees. Places like Heathrow raised its fees from £5 to £6, and a few others mentioning Stansted and also Gatwick Airport. So, with all this going on, this has been a real hurdle for the London taxi trade. So the most discussed story really within the London taxi trade in 2025 is the huge loss of numbers of the taxi fleet. Now, there's actually a lot more drivers leaving the trade because maybe the affordability of the London taxi. Back a few years ago, when the mayor decided to reduce the years of the diesel taxi from 15 years to 12 years, huge numbers of London taxi drivers that was kind of really coming up to their retirement decided to pack the job in altogether in a large number of taxi drivers. This resulted in our numbers of taxi drivers on the road being very diminished, and the knowledge of London, with the amount of applicants coming through, there wasn't enough new taxi drivers coming through. So this has decreased the taxi fleet, in terms of its drivers, to around 16,000 drivers. This, about a decade ago, was 23,000 drivers. Now, there actually has been an extinction warning to the London cab trade, because a major report by the Centre of London said that if trends are not changed within the taxi industry, the London cab fleet could be extinct by 2045. But guys, please stick around to the end of this program, because there has actually been a small glimmer of hope. Actually, in fact, a very big glimmer of hope. So in June 2025, we had an announcement from the Transport Secretary, Heidi Alexander. She mentions that the introduction of taxis that are driverless will be hitting the streets of London in 2026. The company that's heavily invested in it is a company called Waymo that announced the plan to launch the driverless taxis, and other various taxi industry companies like Lyft and also Uber are going to be operating these Apollo robo-taxis, which is going to be quite interesting. Will it affect the taxi trade? I'm not so sure. It doesn't have the knowledge, for instance, which in my opinion still to this day, knowledge is power. You've also haven't got the wit and the charm of the London taxi driver and the camaraderie that you get when you're inside a London taxi. So in the whole, I think it's going to be one of the things that, you know, people think, oh, it's going to be quite cool at first. So quite a few people may try it, but a bit like Uber, the novelty wears off. And so yeah, we'll wait and see. But it's going to be very interesting seeing them on the roads. Maybe a bit scary, in fact, when I have a driverless vehicle coming towards me with no driver in the front of it. But we should wait and see. I also like to see how they're going to get on with the amount of obstructions you come across on a day-to-day basis driving in London, because you have many people walking in front of you, many pedestrians walking behind your taxi as you're reversing. Also, cyclists going through red lights. How would it cope with that? It's all to be revealed, I guess, in 2026. Now, as we reach the end of the year 2025, there's been a small light of optimism within the London taxi trade. As reported by Transport for London, there has been an increase of 740 new applicants wanting to learn the knowledge of London and become a famous London taxi driver. Now, despite the falling numbers of drivers currently in the taxi trade, this really does give the taxi trade and the taxi industry some hope that we're not going anywhere and the London taxi driver will be flourishing in many years to come. 2025 marks the 160th year of the knowledge of London. And the mayor and the union trades within the taxi industry really want to push forward the knowledge of London in these last recent months, trying and get new applicants. And this seems to be working so far, and long may it continue. Okay guys, so we're just walking through the area known as Bank Junction, and for a number of years now it's only been red buses and also cyclists that can ride through this particular road network. London taxis used to be able to, as well as other motorised vehicles, but we've actually been banned for a number of years due to an incident that happened to a cyclist back in 2017. This resulted in all motor vehicles being banned, as well as London black cabs, which the black cab trader, still to this day, the most safest form of public transport. So we was banned, but until last year, in June 2025, the City of London Corporation voted to have London black cabs back going through the heart of the City of London. This is because of the amount of businesses that need to get from one part of London to the other. And it's a vital part of London's road network. Now, will this mean that other vital road networks will be opened up to the London taxi trade? Who knows? But it's good news, and since June 2025, we're now able to travel from the east to west and also west to east, which is great news. So guys, after everything that's been said today, with the ups and the downs of the London taxi trade in 2025, how has it been for you as a London taxi driver? If you could maybe tell me in the comments below, I would love to hear your stories and how it's been for you in 2025. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening to my year in review of 2025 for the London taxi industry. And I wish you a very happy new year and a great 2026. And I'll see you all next year. Bye-bye.